Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here. Welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here and I am glad to be here. 4th of July weekend. We just came through that weekend. It's a time for freedom. You know, as I reflect upon freedom, freedom is a matter of agency, isn't it? It's a matter of choice. And we live in a country, we live in a world, most places of the world, where we can make choices for ourselves. And in this country, this is something that's really a blessing for us. But you know, when you have choice is either yes or no. And yes or no determine the course of our lives. And it's our freedom to say yes or no. Warren Buffett says the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Sounds like a 2-year-old daughter. No. But it's okay to say no as long as you understand what your bigger yes is. What is that bigger yes that's going to move you closer to your essential? Because even though Warren Buffett has been successful saying no 99 times out of 100, if he didn't know what his yes was, what difference would it make? In fact, you'd just be saying no to everything and getting nowhere. And the reality is that yes is the most powerful. You know, I've been talking to Tony Childress, who owns a company in Dallas, CES, Childress Engineering Services. He's a highly successful engineer around the world. And, you know, he says it's important for people to say yes, especially younger people. And hopefully he's going to come out with a book on this, because it really causes you to think about the importance of yes. And so, you are whatever you say yes to. No can kind of leave you in no man land. Yes, you are whatever you say yes to. Whatever you say yes to, you become. So if you say yes to scrolling through social media or eating junk food, that will, either one of those are going to shape you. So whatever you repeatedly say yes to is what you become. But understanding your essential, how quickly could you become your future self if you really understood your essential? Because you want to be saying yes to those things that are your essential. So what is your essential? I think your essential is an understanding. It's a mindset that there's something out there bigger there, and you have the capability of becoming that. And it's a hope. And without that hope, then there's no basis for agency. If you don't have a bigger future, then your choices have nothing to measure against. I've had the opportunity in my past life, many years ago, working in the Utah State Prison as a counselor. And one of the things that I noticed that was extremely, at first, very confusing to me is that in counseling with some of the prisoners, a lot of them didn't even understand what future meant. What does it mean to have a future? They had no comprehension of it. Well, if you don't understand a future, then how do you have consequences? If you don't have consequences, how do you make choices? And how do you make choices, then you're going to be saying yes and no to all the wrong things. So it's really understanding that what is your yes? What is it, something that you're striving and moving towards? Without agency, how will you learn? Without learning, you lose purpose. It's a vicious circle. So begin each day by asking, what small step can I take today? What small step can I take today that will move me closer to what God's purpose is for me? That's all. You don't have to answer it. You just put it in the brain and let it run. See what happens. What small step can I do for somebody today that was unexpected? What small step can I take that will make me a better person? What small step can I take today that will keep me in tune with a higher power that will help guide me? Get down to those little micro steps that you can take every day and then say yes to those. And eventually, as you continue to say yes, your yes will come in more of a vivid view, and you'll be able to say no to even the very important, because you'll start to understand what is essential for you. This is a week of freedom. Let's not lose our ability to choose. Have a meaningful week. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.